So Charlotte Edwards and Mark Robinson.
You were cruising at one stage. You were like 89 for 1. Then what happened? What was the reason for the big collapse in the end?
Well, yeah, we kind of lost our way a little bit between sort of, I guess, 11 and 15 overs there, and thought there was some decent bowling, and we lost crucial wickets as well, which is never helpful in a T20 match.
I just say I thought the two innings mirrored each other. I think both teams got to similar stages. I think if you look at the stats, both teams struggled to get boundaries at the end. I think the last 4 overs, Australia didn't hit a boundary. So it was all about the first 10 overs. From our point of view, we didn't bowl well enough in the first 10. The batting will get all the attention, but we didn't bowl well enough in the first 10. When there's big boundaries, the 65-yard boundaries and slowish bowlers with everybody in front of the wicket, it becomes hard to find those boundaries.
Charlotte, was it a case of self-destruction?
No, not at all. I think, like Robbo said, the wicket always got harder. We just simply didn't bowl well enough up front. We allowed them to get away and probably let them get too many runs. But we were pretty confident we could chase down 1-3-2. But yeah, it just wasn't meant to be.
Mark, you mentioned your your bowling initially cost you. Compared to your team, Australia had 3 spinners, whereas you had a pace-heavy attack. Do you think you had a little too much pace on the ball for this wicket and this outfield, this ground?
I think we play the team we've got, and the team's done very, very well. We played 2 seamers. Jenny Gunn's a spinner, how we class her. And she bowled exceptionally well, but unfortunately we bowled too much width. One of our spinners bowled too much width as well. You have to bowl the stumps. Their captain scored about 35 runs from cover and behind square. So it's the line and the pace you're trying to give. So, well, that's the day, isn't it? We've lost by a boundary. It's heartbreaking because it's close things. It's 1 boundary and 2 twos, and if you find that, so it's cruel. And I feel for all the girls because they've put in, but you've got to take your hat off to Australia. I think Perry was probably the difference really for me because of how she bowled, maybe as their seamer who bowled straight.
Question for each of you, if that's okay. Another defeat to Australia. Are you still confident that the team's moving in the right direction and improving?
Well, we lost by was it 5 runs? There's nothing between these 2 teams. We've got to get fitter. We're not fit enough. They outran us. So athleticism is something that you're given by God, but your actual aerobic fitness is something we've got to get better because we missed out on twos. So that's something. As I say, we've lost by 1 boundary. There's nothing between these 2 teams. We've got to change our mindset a bit, and we've got to toughen up a little bit. We've got to get a few more warriors like the captain. But we're not far away, I promise you.
I was going to ask a little bit about the fitness. You did leave a lot of twos, I guess, out there. But also, I guess, when you're looking to try and hit boundaries, do you feel that you need to get some more power, some more strength, some more... I guess the fitness goes into being able to hit those shots for longer. Maybe Tammy and Charlotte at the top, who did get the team off to a decent start, both looked like they're retiring when they got out. So is that all connected together?
Look, I think we've hit 6 sixes in the competition. We've hit 3 today. The opposition didn't hit any. I think for the good of the game, we've got to look at what boundaries we play on. This was a better outfield, better wicket. It's a good wicket. We've just played on poor wickets, slow wickets, big boundaries. Every single game, and it becomes about hitting the ball into corners, trying to scramble twos, and I think we need a variation of boundaries. Today, 65-metre boundaries all the way around. You saw both teams; they couldn't clear the rope at the end. As I say, Australia, I don't think they hit a boundary in the last 4. So it's both teams finding the same problems back end of the innings. Teams taking pace off, bowling intelligently, packed field, third man up, etc. You're finding a way, but we've hit 3 sixes today. So we know we're going in the right direction, and we've lost, as I say, by a boundary. The danger is we overanalyse. For me, it's quite simple. We've got to get fitter, got to toughen up a little bit, and in tournament sport, you need a tad of luck, and then we'll be there.
Mark, you've had a few months now to take stock of the team you've inherited, and you've had a world tournament to take a look at as well. I mean, it's been noted previously that there haven't been new caps, new blood in the squad for a while. I mean, do you think, in light of this defeat, and it's been, 6 years since a global tournament victory, there is a case for drawing a line under certain players of this generation?
Look, I think we're 45 minutes after losing a semi-final by a boundary, so it's too quick, too early to get into all those type of situations, first of all, you've got to make sure your base is big enough that you've got players underneath who can come in. That's the first thing. You've got to find out who's underneath. Of course you do. There needs to be competition. We're looking for players who can stand up and be counted, players that can play under pressure, and as I say, players that have got the aerobic fitness to be able to do the job necessarily. And that would be a necessity for any women's team that I'm in charge of going forward. We need more players like the captain. As I say, she's led fantastically well for England over numerous years. I challenged her after the game at Bangalore, and my God, she's come back strong in the game against Pakistan and then today, because she's got a fierceness inside her to keep improving and to keep scoring runs, and that's something that you want in all your players.
Just a follow-up point. I mean, the captain mentioned before the match the talk of the 360-degree batting and the aggression that you want to bring to the game. But in light of some of the dismissals today, do you think there may have been just a case for nudging a few more singles and not in trying to be too clever?
It was a bit of a problem because we couldn't run our twos. So it's a bit of a catch-22 at one point. We couldn't run twos, and we're trying and we can't get found the boundary. You're starting to struggle a bit, aren't you? The bit I'd like to just keep stressing, the teams are probably level after 10, what they did in the back 10. We found the boundary more than Australia in the back 10. It was the front 10. That's where the game is and where the game was. And it's often the case in women's cricket, it's how you play in the front 10. As I say, we've improved our hitting. We've hit 6 sixes, which is 6 more than we did in the last competition. We know we're improving and we know we're getting there. The unfortunate thing is, for a lot of you guys who see us for the first time, we've come up short against the old enemy again. But I know they're going in the right direction. I know there's a lot of potential in the group. I know there's a lot of girls with a lot to offer, and we've just got to give them belief and stick with the right players as well, and accept sometimes there will be some bumps. But we've got to push them, and we've got to extend them as well, because there's a lot more in the tank what they can give.
Mark, from what you're saying about the captain, you believe Charlotte remains the best person to take charge of the team and take it forward?
Well, I can't speak for Charlotte, and I think it'd be unfair for Charlotte to even go into those areas. I think, as I said, we're 45 minutes after losing a semi-final, and it's heartbreaking for all the players concerned. And as I think, the best thing you always do is you take stock, don't you, and you see where you are. She'll probably come out as one of should be the highest run scorer in the competition. She's led the team fantastically well throughout the competition again. She showed innovation when she's needed it. Let's get back to England and we'll take stock from there.
Well, perhaps we can ask Charlotte. I mean, you've been asked these sort of questions in the past, and you've always spoken about your enthusiasm still for the job. Is that undiminished?
Absolutely. I think Robbo just touched on it there. They've been challenged pretty hard to expand my game, and I've quite enjoyed it actually, trying to go in the nets and to do things differently, and I actually feel I'm playing as well as I ever have done. So while I feel like this, I want to continue playing for England. Of course, I want to keep captain England, but if I'm not the right person, then that's not going to be my decision. But I want to continue doing it because I love what I do, and hopefully I can continue to give more to this group.
Might this defeat toughen your resolve, especially looking forward to the World Cup then?
Sorry?
Will this toughen your resolve, this defeat, and toughen the team as well?
Yeah, it should do. I think there's a lot of those youngsters have experienced a few now World Cups, but we've got a massive 18 months ahead of us, with a home World Cup in July 2017, and I guess that's the next goal for us moving forward.
Charlotte, there's 2 good teams on the other side of the draw as well. Do you sort of see Australia as the favourites to go on now, or is it too close to call?
I don't know. I think New Zealand are probably as probably favourites going into the final. They've beaten New Zealand in obviously New Zealand and the group game. So I think they'd be going in very, very confident.
Your thoughts on pitches used in the tournament, to both of you?
I'd love to have played at Delhi a bit more. It's a fantastic wicket. Although we had a decent enough wicket at Bangalore. The challenge we've got is when you have 65-yard boundaries and slow wickets and a lot of small in stature players bowling slowly, I tell you, it takes a bit to generate pace to get that, and that's difficult. So that's why we need to tinker with the boundaries a bit. We need to try and play on the best wickets possible to allow the showcase the talent that the girls are practicing really hard to do. But when the objective of the game is to try and hit balls into corners and scamper twos, it's not probably the product that you're trying to put onto the public.
How hard was it to set fields to Meg when she was set, and Just how much of an influence did that missed run out have on the result, do you think?
Yeah, I mean, that was a massive, probably turning point of the game, missing that run out. But look, she's a world-class player, but we didn't bowl well enough at her. And, we've set up our plans to bowl at her. And like Robbo said, the first 10 overs we didn't bowl where we'd have liked. But I thought, like I say, we came back well. But, she's going to break a lot of records, I think. She's a good player. And, I think at times we could learn a lot from her running between the wickets.
Yeah, Charlotte, your thoughts on the tournament? Your thoughts generally on the tournament, the matches you
It's been
played,
fantastic.
and the experiences that you have, the travel, the crowd support, and the pitches, or the Mark spoke on the pitches, and generally the way things went for you.
Oh, we've loved it. We've loved our time in India. Apart from obviously like what Robbo said about the wickets and so on, that's but in terms of how we've been looked after, it's been absolutely fantastic. We've loved being part of this tournament. It's just a shame we couldn't have gone one better today and got into a final at Eden Gardens.
All right, thank you.
Cheers.
Hi guys, we've got Meg again.
Congratulations, Meg. Your thoughts on the last 5 overs, when obviously things changed dramatically for you guys.
Yeah, it was sort of England had the momentum in the first sort of 10 overs, and then we wrestled it back for the next 5, and it was pretty evenly balanced heading into that period, and we were able to pick up wickets. I guess that was the big thing that kept us in the game, and I thought our bowlers pulled it back really nicely. We probably didn't start off as well as we would have liked with the ball, a little bit too much width and extras as well, but we were able to come back, and we know our backend's very good, so full credit to the bowlers.
New Zealand is the only team who beat you in the league stage. Most probably you have to face in the final against New Zealand. So what do you rate for the final?
Yeah, look, they're playing against West Indies tomorrow, so that'll be a pretty good game, and we're not really fussed who we come up against. It's a World Cup, so you're going to have to play against the best, and New Zealand have certainly been in very good form and playing some good cricket against us especially, so we're going to have to prepare well if we do come up against them, but we're quite good at sort of getting up for big games and really putting our best on the park when it really counts. So whoever we come up against, we're going to have to play really well, but we'll be ready for them.
So you are ready to win 4 title in a row?
Yeah, we're ready to win 4 in a row. Yep, that's it.
Okay. At one stage, you were about to post a very big score, but in the last 4 overs, you managed only like 23 runs.
Mm-hmm.
Do you still think that is an area you have to improve, the dead batting?
Yeah, absolutely. We had a good platform there. I thought our openers started off really nicely, got us off to a flying start, and we did pretty well through the middle. We kept the scoreboard ticking over, but we would have loved to get some more boundaries towards the end there. It wasn't through lack of trying. I think the England bowlers bowled really well. They didn't give us much to hit, so that's an area that we can certainly work on.
And was there any special game plan in the end to restrict England from winning the match because they were cruising at a point? Was there any specific game plan you had?
Not really. I think on this wicket it was important to bowl really straight and try and hit the stumps as much as you could. We found that when we were batting, that when England did that and hit the length on the pitch and bowled straight, it was hard to score. So we knew that going into our bowling innings that we needed to do that as often as possible, and we got there in the end. I think it took us a little while, but that was pretty much the plan, try and hit the stumps as much as we could.
England's coach said that one of the major factors he thought was England's failure to turn ones into twos. I mean, was that something you were aware of in the field, and were you really squeezing those second runs?
I thought our outfielders did a great job. I thought Megan Shute probably saved the 5 runs that we won by in the outfield. I'm not too sure. Maybe there were a couple of twos they could have taken early on. But I thought, we made a really big effort to try and close them down and keep it to 1. It's probably a little bit bigger than you think, the field, especially sort of towards square leg and cow. So, we tried our best to exploit that, and I thought our outfielders tried that. Did pretty well to stop England getting those twos.
Meg, the bowling performance through this tournament maybe hasn't been as strong as what it has in the past, but from the position that England were in there, for your bowling attack to fight back like they did, do you think that can be a real, turning point in, looking forward to this final?
Yeah, absolutely. I think it gives us a good blueprint, I guess, of what we need to do under pressure. As I said before, we didn't start that well with the ball. We gave away some free runs with extras and, probably bowled a little bit wide as well. But we know that our sort of last 10 overs are very good. We've got some really good change-ups in there and variations from all our bowlers. So it's just about trying to do that a little bit earlier, I guess. But I've got full faith in all of our bowlers to be able to come back and restrict them at the end.
Meg, you used 3 spinners today on what was supposed to be a pretty good batting track. How tempting was it to go with an extra pacer over the spinner? What was the reasoning behind that decision?
Yeah, look, the 3 spinners has worked for us throughout the tournament, and it's been effective in the couple of games here that we played as well. And as it turned out today, pace was probably more effective, but it depends on the opposition you play against as well. But I thought, Erin Osborne came on and bowled 1 over. I think there was 4 to go, and she came on and bowled a great over for us, what we needed. So that's the key for us. We've got everyone on our team can come in and play a role. It might be 1 over, it might be 4, but I've got full faith in every one of them to be able to deliver what we need.
Just following up from Ben's question, England were looking pretty good at 1 for 80 odd or whatever it was, and there seemed to be a sense of calm and confidence. What sort of breeds that, or why is that there?
Yeah, I guess it's from being here before in big games. We knew that a couple of wickets would change the momentum pretty quick, and we were able to get Edwards and Beaumont, the 2 set batters, out pretty close to each other, which I thought was crucial. And then we were able to squeeze and limit the boundaries. We got a few dots in there as well, and the run rate climbed pretty quickly once we got those couple of wickets. So, we knew that their middle order had probably had a few times where they got a bit nervous and lost some quick wickets, so we knew that if we got a couple, we just had to keep putting the pressure on and try and make them take risks, and I thought we did that pretty well.
And just one on your innings, was the goal sort of to bat through the overs as much as possible to make sure the total was reasonable?
Yeah. Once we got off to a really good start, we needed someone to try and bat through, and that turned out to be me. I would have loved to get a few more boundaries towards the end there. I was disappointed with that. I thought we had a pretty good platform. We probably could have got up to the 145, 150 if we'd had a good finish. So that's something definitely to work on. But I thought the openers pretty much set up the game for us today.
Yeah, you played in front of really big crowds in the last Women's Big Bash, which was, great success. Are you a touch disappointed that there haven't been very good crowds during the T20 World Cup here, or were you expecting more crowd support in numbers?
Yeah, I thought the crowds have been pretty good actually. I think there was a good crowd out there today. I think the double headers certainly helped to bring new people to the game, but the crowds are definitely coming along to the games and watching us. Even the standalone games we played in Nagpur, there was some good crowds there as well. So we would obviously love more people coming to watch us, but that's sort of the slow steps that we're going with. But hopefully at the final in Kolkata, there's a big crowd there to watch the final.
Meg, you're on the cusp of winning 4 titles in a row. Will it be, if that happens, will it be bigger than the Ashes, winning the Ashes?
They're different, I guess. World Cups, obviously you've got to adjust to the conditions and the opposition a lot more than obviously in the Ashes, you're just playing the one team. But it's hard to compare. I think they're both highlights, definitely. We're certainly going to give it everything we've got in the final. It's going to be tough against New Zealand or West Indies. But we're really looking forward to the challenge. We've sort of got ourselves there now, and we're just going to enjoy it and play at our best.
Like we saw a difference in the batting approach of the two teams, whereas England have a lot of scoops, paddle scoops, a lot of behind the wicket shots, whereas your team overall, maybe setting Alex Blackwell aside, have a lot of down the ground, in the V or square of the wicket shots. What would you say about this difference in approach, and what is your thinking behind your approach as a team in batting?
Yeah, that's sort of been something that we've noticed a little bit over. Obviously, we've played England a lot, and they do play those shots really well, and that's probably their go-to rather than ours. We do look straighter, and the conditions certainly play a part. The wicket here was quite skiddy, so it was hard to go over the top straight. We found. But I think T20 cricket is still about sticking to your strengths and doing that as often as possible. So there's different ways to do it. There's no right or wrong way, but it's important that we adjust both as a batting group and a bowling group to what the opposition's doing.
And just one on the missed run out when you were on 20. Had you
Yeah.
given up hope there, and what was running through your mind
Yeah,
after?
I had. I wasn't. Yeah, I think I said something as I was just about to run down the wicket. I thought I was in big trouble, but I think she went for the direct hit instead of to the keeper. I would have been out by a mile. So a little bit of luck. You need it sometimes.
You mentioned that you play England a lot. Does it help knowing that they have such a low turnover of players that you can pretty much predict their 11 every time you turn up, regardless of the format?
Oh, look, I don't think so. They're a very good team. They've got a number of players who are match winners and can take the game away from you. So, their best 11's their best 11. I think ours is pretty similar a lot of the time as well. But, we're two very good sides going up against each other. And as we saw today, it was a very close contest and not much in it at all. So, always tough games against England, and today was no different.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.